Hey, good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of Facebook Live. We've got so much stuff to talk about, and we're super excited for another great day. So first, we're going to talk about some things that we've been doing over the last week and new developments this week. So we were super excited to go to the Lawrence Wedding Fair down at Michelli's on Sunday. We got to meet lots of new great people. And so one of the things, of course, we gave away again, which I totally love, is the Rockin' Awesome lip gloss that Lauren made, because she is amazing. 3 ingredients, just cinnamon, olive oil, and beeswax, and it works awesome. So on the bottom while we were there were little stickers on all the bottom of those, and we told them if people watch Facebook Live today to kind of figure out what they're for, and so each of them is 15% off of a different thing. So I'm going to look at my list to remind me what it is. So the pink one is 15% off Epionce products, like one time. The orange one is 15% off an IV therapy, and the green one is for 15% off a facial. So don't hesitate to call us or email into us. If you go to our website and click in, then you can kind of get in contact with us, and we'd be happy to schedule you either a consult with Carson or get you set up for your Epionce product or get your IV scheduled. So just don't forget to look on the bottom of this and give us a call. And we're really excited too that a lot of people were intrigued by the parties that we talked about for bachelor's and bachelorette parties, and we certainly can meet with you and customize your party so that your weekend is super fun at some point in time while you're gearing up for your big day. And other upcoming things is our specials. We have Lips with Carrie, so you get $50 off lip filler with Carrie until Valentine's Day. And then we also have our libido special, which is women, if they're doing FemiLift, get $100 off their package. Men, if they're doing GainsWave, get $100 off their package. But if both partners sign up for their package, they each get $200 off. So you double your fun, so you're both having a great Valentine's Day. So those specials run until February 14th, so don't forget about them because both procedures work really great, and we're really happy to provide them for patients. We're very excited to welcome our interns this week, and so excited about all the great energy that they bring and opportunities that they help us to continue to develop wellness within the community. On January 30th, don't forget we have another wellness night where we're having Jason from Blue Ginkgo with acupuncture come up, and Mindy will be doing chair massages. And then on February the 21st, 810 Radio will be here again doing another live feed in the afternoon. Ted Lebo is talking as one of our or works with us, and so he'll be here this afternoon or that afternoon. And don't forget to listen to his show because we advertise on it, and he's awesome. And then on February the 27th, we have another cool night to talk about cool sculpting because March is coming up, and then the summer's coming up, and you really, if you're looking towards summertime and really want to kind of get some difficult areas gone, March would be really when you want to start to do that so that you can get ready for summer. So the supplement of the day today is Whole Immune, and so probably want to see it there. So what is Whole Immune? So Whole Immune, you just take one a day, and it's a supplement that helps you if you're under a lot of stress, if there's a lot of things going on. It increases beta-glycan, and so it's 75% pure. I wrote some notes to myself, but what the heck does beta-glycan do? So what it does is the macrophages, which are the part of your body, one of the parts of your body that goes and helps keep you well, your macrophages take up the beta-glycan, and it helps your macrophages move faster. So it presents antigens more efficiently. So it's not vitamin C or an antioxidant, but this actually helps your immune system function at a higher level. So you just take one a day to hopefully help prevent getting sick when you're super stressed out or when there's a lot going on in life. So it's more of a preventative, and it's super easy, and one tablet a day is really easy to continue on. So just know that's what Whole Immune is for. And then the procedure of the day is I was going to talk today about smoker's lines because I had another patient who was coming in, and she was talking about smoker's lines but thought she had to do filler of the lips to make smoker's lines gone. And I was like, oh, I should talk about that. So really, let's just talk about what a smoker's lines is to start with. So I don't smoke, but gosh, love it, I have smoker's lines because I love straws and I love to talk, so I'm always moving my lips. And so that being said, you get collagen breakdown around the area. So when I go like this, you can see the little lines. I think you can see them. They're right there. And so when you get smoker's lines, what are lines of our face? What are smoker's lines? That is where the collagen in the skin gets broken down. So collagen is just a connective tissue that gives structure. So the more expressive I am, the older I get, the more I break down that collagen with time. And you could treat that a couple of different ways. One of the ways you can treat it is by putting filler in, but you don't have to put filler in the lip. You're actually injecting in the holes. So it's kind of like if you think if there's a pothole in the road, you just put a little extra stuff in there and then it's a smooth surface. Now filler is actually made from a compound that our body has, hyaluronic acid. And so over time, it will dissolve. So if all you do is fill in the hole with filler, then it will eventually come back again because we continue to express and suck from our straw and love life. So sometimes you just have to keep putting filler in at interval levels. Now, how can you regenerate your own collagen? And that is what we do with like Secret or CO2. So what those things do is those stimulate your body to regenerate your collagen in the areas that you target. So while using filler is just putting in the hole with something that temporarily works, these other products are actually stimulating your body to fill in the collagen its own, so your smoker's lines go away because you healed them. So usually, obviously, you have to do those procedures a lot less frequently because if you build back in my collagen, I have to break it down again. And then if I'm using my filler, it's just how long the filler lasts in my body. So there's not a right, there's not a wrong, there's just different ways to do it. So the smoker's lines around our lips, people will tell you don't drink from a straw, don't smoke. But you know what? I love straws because it is fun. So anyway, different ways of doing stuff. So today, the other thing I'm going to also talk about is a healthy body concept. And gosh, love it, I know I like to talk and I can really go out on this. So I'm depending on Lauren to tell me if I get a little bananas. So that being said, one simple concept we'll start with is BMI, body mass index. So when you go to medical school, they tell you, hey, a BMI helps define if your patient is healthy. I can't disagree with that more, actually. Okay, and this is why. So BMI is built off height and weight, and it makes a bell curve, and it takes everybody and makes a curve, and then depending on where you are on the curve is how normal you are. That totally does not take into account how much muscle you have, what your body fat percent is, what your stress of life is, and so it totally could mislead the person. I'm going to use myself as an example. So on the body comp machine, it calculates muscle mass and body fat percent. My body carries more muscle. So my BMI, height, and weight is always higher because muscle is heavy. And I'm short, so I always look obese. Now, when I was younger and I'm growing up, you always think there's something wrong with you. You always think, why can't I weigh less? Why can't I weigh more? Because every time you go in and you stand on the scale at the doctor's office, we're looking at your weight. But we really try not to do that too much here. I try to do a body comp analysis more than anything else. Because I want to make sure when you come in that your muscle mass is the same, if not going up. And I want to make sure that your body fat is going down or staying the same. Because I know a body, when it gets stressed, reduces muscle mass, ups body fat. Why does your body do that? It's because your body loves you. And your body is primal, and its stress response is built off of energy and food. So if you're stressed out chronically, your body thinks you're on a really long marathon. And if your body's job is to keep you alive and keep you healthy, the last thing it wants you to do is require a lot of food because then you'll die. So your body makes you a cheap date, I call it. It reduces muscle mass because muscle burns calories and it ups body fat, okay? So when your body is doing that, I know if someone comes in and says, Sam, I'm gaining weight and I don't know why. I also know they feel a lot of other things because their body's not only doing that with weight and muscle mass, it's changing how you think, it's changing how you move, it changes what you want to eat. So it all goes together. It's really actually quite simple, and it's all connected. So when you also think about different body types, there's different body types. And not everyone sticks into one category. We kind of little mix the different ones, but kind of helps reinforce this thing we're talking about, BMI. So there's endomorphs, there's ectomorphs, and there's mesomorphs. So the endomorph has more muscle, but maybe a little bit more fat too. And the mesomorph has more muscle, but maybe their body fat is kind of plus or minus a little bit. And then the ectomorph have small joints, and they have smaller amount of muscle mass, and they have fast metabolism, so they can eat a lot of carbs a lot of times. So let's take a BMI, okay? If you're body mass index and you have a lot of muscle mass and a lot of body fat, your BMI is way over here, it's high. If you're a mesomorph and you have a lot of muscle mass, no matter what my body fat is, my BMI is high too. But if I'm an endomorph and I don't have a lot of muscle, then I'm over here. Well, folks over here can have high body fat and reduced muscle mass, and so their BMI may be low, but if their body fat is high, I know their body's stressed out. It doesn't mean their body is healthy. So I just want you to know, when you go to your doctor's office or when you stand yourself on the scale and you're like, oh, I'm not losing weight and I don't know why. Number one, if you're eating better and you're moving more and your body's giving you muscle back and your body fat's going down, you may not move your weight at all, but you look completely different. So forget the weight. Go more by your body fat and your muscle mass. And if you're losing weight, but your body's eating up muscle mass, you can actually be becoming a weaker, fatter version of yourself, and that doesn't mean you're in a better place either. So if you starve your body, especially the older that we get, your body eats up muscle mass and ups body fat because it thinks you starving it is stressing it out. And its response to stress is lower muscle mass, up body fat. So then when you're done starving yourself, what happens? You gain all this weight back because your body, you ate up your muscle mass that burns all your calories, and you can't eat anything. So that is so much, I feel, why people rebound in their weight, because they're not fixing the problem of why their body got there. The other thing too is you have to love your body. I can't make my body an endomorph just like I can't make it an ectomorph. I'm a mesomorph, that's who I am. And if I am a endomorph and I want to look like a mesomorph, no matter how much I work out, my body is never going to be like a bodybuilder person, because it's not what my body is built to be. So you can medicinally do a lot of these things to your body, but the minute you quit those medicines is the minute your body will return to where it is, because that's what it is. So it's taken me a long time to realize, oh my gosh, this is my body, yeah. And okay, well, if this is my body and I want to de-stress it, how do I do that? So I first had to love myself for who I am and understand myself for who I am, because I know if I de-stress my body, I think better, I want to move more, I make better food choices, and I feel more peaceful in my heart. It all goes together. But if I'm always pushing against myself, I'm always sick and I never feel right. So just love your body for what it is. And let's see, a couple other notes that I said is, life is hard enough as it is. So not loving your body just makes life even harder. Don't do that to yourself. The other thing that I would say as a female is, when I was in weights class, I was talking to a patient about this earlier this week, is that when I was in weight class and I was younger, all the folks would go over with all the boys lifting over the heavy weights, and me and my friend Tammy were on the other side moving things around. And so there was one time I went to this weight machine and I pulled it down and I could make all the weights go up, and I just thought the weight machine was broken. But no, I think that's actually how my body is. So I didn't know it then, and I carried it like there's something super wrong with me my whole life. Why can I not get my weight down? And you realize that that's okay. That's how you are. The other thing too I hear from my kids a lot is they're like, oh, I'm gaining weight. I want to see my abs. And I tell them, oh my gosh, number one, I know watch what you eat, but as you age, as an adolescent, you know what? You're going to gain weight. And you're going to gain weight because your body is going to mature, and as it matures, it puts on muscle mass, and muscle weighs more. So I tell my son who's 14, don't think you're going to lose weight when you're 17. That would be wrong, because you're getting taller and you're getting stronger and you're putting on more muscle mass, and that's normal. So if you have any questions about any of this, or you're like, why the heck does my body feel this way? That's what we're here for. That's what we're here to help you understand. Understand your body, understand how you can maximize it, and then understand how you can feel the best in your mind in that beautiful body too. And so, in conclusion, we don't help people really with weight loss. We help people become the strongest, leanest version of themselves, whatever that is, because we all have a set place that we are. muscle mass wise that we can get to. So you want to maximize that. So you burn as many calories as you can, and then you could drive your body fat down if you want to change how your body is. So anyway, hope that wasn't too complex. But there's only one you. You only have one body. Love it for what it is. Realize that it changes and it ebbs and flows with you your whole life. It tells your story, but it's always in your corner and it always loves you. So don't forget about Whole Immune. Don't forget about your rockin' awesome little stickers. I'm still going to drink from a straw. There's lots of procedures I can do if I want to. If I don't want to, awesome. And if I do, totally cool. And then we're super excited about our interns, our upcoming events, and just love your body. And if you have questions about it, let us know. And I think Lauren is also going to talk to us about our hats. I love this. So we'll throw them in. So we have these awesome hats, and they are so comfortable because I wore one to the wedding thing that we had because I love wearing hats that keep me warm. And then we have these little headbands too that have Simple on them, and they have a ponytail holder to make it really comfortable, not feel like you can't move it around. So it keeps your ponytail in the right spot so it doesn't feel like it's mushed against your head. So just to let you know, we have these for this cold season, and that I love them. I wear them myself. So any questions?
We do have a couple questions.
Okay.
We have a question about your fat set point and
Yes.
how your body is kind of constantly battling, to reach that set point again
Yeah.
and to get you back to where you were. So if you could explain a little bit about what that set point means, and then also a question about liposuction and why that isn't always the best option for folks and why they find that they gain weight. They gain weight again after getting that procedure.
I'm going to start with the liposuction first because it might be a little bit faster and easier, and then I'll move on to the other one. Okay, so I'm going to put liposuction in the same category as like cool sculpting, which is in the same category as, some injectables that you do that you actually dissolve your fat. They're all the same. They're just making your fat cells go away. So we have until the age of 20 years old to put on fat cells. And after then, they just get bigger and smaller, like Ziploc bags. So women at 20 have more subcutaneous squishy fat than men do because we have estrogen, and estrogen makes us hold on to more body fat. The other thing about body fat you have to understand is you are genetically predisposed to put body fat on certain areas. So some of us put us here, some of us put it 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 here. We're all genetically predisposed to have that happen. So like we talked about before, body fat is your body's protection of itself. It's making you a cheap date because it thinks you're in danger, okay? Now, people will be like, well, why do I put on body fat if I eat too much a lot of times? I'm like, you're not eating too much because you want to eat too much, actually. You're eating too much because you're stressed a lot of times and you're trying to modify your stress response and you've made an association with food sometimes. Because if you de-stress the body, everybody wants to move, and honestly, I'm not joking you, everybody wants to eat good. I totally believe that's in our genome. So if you don't fix why your body's holding on to body fat, and you suck your body fat cells out, your body will put body fat in a different area, because your body will never stop loving you. So that is why so the first place you put on body fat is the last place to lose. So but my body still has subcutaneous Ziploc bags in other areas. So I'm going to use example like, okay, my lower abdomen, that'll be the first place my body puts on body fat. So when I start getting stressed out, not moving as much, eating bad food, what happens? My body puts the fat cells in there. Well, if I liposuction those out, but I don't change my stress, my body's going to be like, okay, now I can't go to the Ziploc bags. Where can I go now? So it finds the next one, and then it goes to the next place, and then it goes to the next place. Now, men get a beer belly as they age a lot of times because they have lesser body fat at the age of 20 than we do. So your body first puts body fat in subcutaneous places, and then it goes inside and pushes out and makes visceral fat. So your body never loses its capacity to put body fat on. You just start popping the Ziploc bags. So liposuction, cool sculpting, those types of things are just taking out the Ziploc bags, but no one can ever take the potential away of your body to protect you, because that would mean nature is not loving on you, and nature never stops loving on you. So hopefully did that make sense, hopefully? And so then the next piece is about a set point. Okay, well, I think this is a little bit more complex, and I kind of may have a unique perspective of looking at this than other people. And I'm not saying that your body doesn't have a place that it likes you to be, but I just am more optimistic about our ability to change our set point by how we think and our stress of our life. So I'm going to kind of explain it the way I look at it, which may be a little bit different than what you've heard. So because I think about the body all about stress, in the reference of stress. In, out, in, out. And if I can keep a balance in to out, then my body will keep me in the middle. But if I've never learned how to get it away from me and I hold on to it, my body's always protecting me. I can always learn new habits. I don't care what anyone says. You can always learn a new habit if you have the energy and intent to do so. So if I learn as an adult how to balance my stress, I balance my weight. So my body doesn't want me to hold on a ton of body fat and have low muscle mass. It doesn't want to do that to me. But it will do that to me if it always feels stress until I teach it that it doesn't have to feel that way. So to me, I'm just eternally optimistic, and I believe the body wants to heal itself. So I really believe you can change the set point of your metabolism when you change your balance of stress in and out of your body and what you can do as a person to change that for yourself. How about any other questions?
It looks like we have another one kind of coming through about just where does one start? So let's just say you're starting the weight loss process, and someone asks, how do I know anything about my set point? How do I know where I am? Am I off my set point? How do I know
where I am?
Yeah, just where I am in the whole process.
So what I would do is I would first have that person come in, and I still like to look inside the body to see what inefficiencies there are. Because if you're hypothyroid, if you're allergic to a food, or if you're insulin resistant, you have to fix that to see where your body wants to be. Because until you fix that, your body's always going to protect itself. So metabolically, I like to just do an assessment. And I also like to hear how you feel and what your life has been like. And so then pair those together. And then you do a body comp to look at your body as a robot, as a structure of that day to see where it is today. Because and you also have to look at how old or how young you are. Because the older we get, the more the body protects itself. And so you have to be a little bit more innovative with how you find energy. As youth, you have a lot more energy and you can totally cheat the system up and down. So there's a lot more flexibility if you just get a little right. So, and then everybody wants to get the best with the least amount of stuff. Because if I ask someone to do 50,000 things, it takes a lot of energy from them, and they're already trying to learn something new, and those things just don't jive too well. So I would say if somebody wants to start on a weight loss journey to understand themselves, to look inside their body and ask it how it's doing, to do a body comp to look at your body fat and your muscle mass, and also listen to your histories and how you modulate your stress response. And then what we do is we start changing things. But your body is a biological system, obviously. So every time you change something, it will tell you something. So then when you stay on your body comp like every month or every month and a half, you can see what their muscle mass and their body fat did. Did it like what we did? It's just an experiment, kind of basically. And then if they liked what it did, then you're like, oh, muscle mass is the same, body fat's going down. But if you change something and something didn't happen, even the body wants something different or it needs something in addition. So you just keep looking and modifying, looking and modifying, looking and modifying. The more in the middle your body is, the more forgiving it is and the easier it is to move. But the longer you've been in these states, the more on the outside it is and the harder you have to work initially to pull it in. But it's not about working harder, it's about working smarter. Because sometimes people feel like, I do all these things and it just doesn't work. Well, it's because you're not getting to the problem or the root of what your body wants. So hopefully, that's a long-winded answer, but the other thing too is the reference of the simple sign here, right? So when you, as a person, are inside your body's wellness, you can move your body up and down and all around. When you are outside your circle, your body's not going to move too good. I don't care what your muscle mass is. If your body's protecting itself, your metabolic rate is so much lower than you think it should be, simply because your body can control that. If you're all stressed out over here, then sometimes you just will eat and not be able to gain weight, but that's various other body types. So this little circle here gives you a reference point of what you can do as a starting point to say, okay, maybe I don't have time right now to go into BC. Maybe I just can't get those labs right now. We'll start by eating whole foods, moving 10,000 steps, drinking water, making sure you sleep, balance your energy, and make sure your community is intact. And every time you change one of those things, your body usually gives you a little something back. And so if you're doing those things and your body's not moving, you definitely should just look inside your body to ask it the question. But if you can't get to that right now, at least start somewhere. And that's what all these little things are about. Hopefully that made sense. Yeah.
That's good.
Any other questions?
I think that's all we've got.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We're super excited for next week because next week is still January, I think, right? And then the week after that is February. But at the beginning of February, I think we have our first special guest, which I'm super pumped about, Craig, the orthomolecular man. He is so super smart and fun to talk to. And if you have a question about supplements, you should totally write them down because we're just totally going to go over all of these supplements. And I'm so excited because it's just fun to have a little kind of open forum about these different products and what they can do for people. And especially the more educated we speak, I think the more value is extended to you. Pardon me? Oh, and don't forget to like us on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. Okay. And what? Oh, and share. Yeah, you can see. I'm not very good at this. And share with your friends and things so that hopefully we can continue to spread wellness with a lot of other folks, whether they're able to come into our office or not. They can watch our videos and hopefully we just help the world be a better place.